Hello and welcome to Thursday night, and it's one hell of a week. We're going to talk wrestling, though, and we're going to try to keep it mostly wrestling.
I see no other option. What options do you have?
I could talk about, is basketball still happening?
Nope.
Who won the basketball? Oh,
Nope.
Okay. So not basketball. We can't do that.
You want to try again?
So I guess we have baseball. No, I know
it's done
that the
too.
baseball is over. Yeah.
Go ahead, one more.
I heard that Paige from WWE is going to be in a bare knuckle boxing fight. Did you see that?
What?
The Toronto Sun accidentally mentioned Soraya instead of Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah. Are you serious?
100%.
Oh my God. This is probably.
She's like,
amazing.
Yeah, she was like, what? And it was a photo of Paige Van Zandt. So
this is the first time you've gotten one up on me with news. That's awesome. And
I know. It's just,
and you waited to break it here.
In the intro, no less. I think it was just because I accidentally opened Twitter and looked at what was going on, and Soraya was there, and the Toronto Sun was there, and I was like, "What? Oh, okay."
Well,
Funny.
Tim, what's in a name, right?
Not much, apparently.
Well, I tell you one guy who got his name back this week, and that's Cody Rhodes.
Oh, good for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Rhodes.
Loud and proud.
Where we're going, we don't need no roads. But Cody got his back. So Heal by Nature, who I'm assuming at this point that they are just a U.S. patent and trademark office bot at this point because they've broken everything patent and trademark related. They broke the news on Wednesday. And then Cody Rhodes, after AEW Dynamite went off the air to the Fight.tv crowd, said, I have my name back. And the crowd at Daly's Place erupted and so on and so forth. The story behind it is, WWE canceled the trademark entirely, after Cody had filed for the name on April 13th. It was the same day as the trademark for WWE lapsed, and then WWE tried to file for a late renewal on May 15th, and then they claimed that COVID-19 delayed their filing. Cody ended up again taking the trademark officially, and now the news is that this is potentially a patent trade, because at one point Cody was trying to patent a whole bunch of former WCW names. Specifically pay-per-view names.
Oh,
yes.
That's funny. Okay. So they're like, if you please stop, we'll do this.
Yep. So NXT Slamboree is on the horizon.
Yay. I mean, that's good. That's really good to hear, that he gets to use his actual last name.
No,
it's his daddy's ring name that he adopted.
Exactly. Because he's Cody Runnels.
Yeah. Ronald. Wait, what? Reynolds?
Runnels. No D. Runnels.
Yeah, Rhodes is better.
Well, Cody mentioned on the conference call for AEW Full Gear that he intends to remain Cody. So Cody Rhodes as a name is probably going to be more for acting and other outside projects, not necessarily AEW related. But you know what? It's good. I mean, Cody Rhodes deserves to have his ring name back. That WWE wasn't doing anything with it. It's not like they could use his likeness for video games or anything like that.
No, I mean, Cody. He's got 8,000 names he's given himself anyway, so whatever.
It's true.
He's the Prince of Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
That's right. Wrestling has more than one royal family. We're going to be talking AEW Full Gear over on PW Unlimited this weekend. We'll give our predictions. We'll run down the card. That'll be a good time. So you can join us then. That's when our predictions will actually drop. Tonight, we're going to talk news. We're going to talk favorites, do the whole rundown. You know how it is. If you're in the chat, say hi. We are always there to engage and have some fun with you. If you like what you're watching tonight on YouTube and it's better than the elections, and a lot of things are better than the elections right now. Then you can go ahead, you can follow us there. You can find us all over the place at Tim and Joel Pod. Tell your friends, because good Lord, we just want to talk about wrestling. That's what we do.
Yeah, give us your hot takes. I'm willing to debate you right on the live airwaves.
That's right. I don't really want to do too much debating of this, though. Unfortunately, Kylie Rae, in an update, has decided to retire from professional wrestling. In a post on Patreon, Kylie said, quote, "I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused and miscommunication. I am currently unwell. I'm also sorry that I wasn't able to get this out before your monthly subscription charge. I wanted to take this time to say I'm no longer a professional wrestler and I'm currently taking a break from social media. It's been a very hard decision to make, but please understand when I am well, I will try to fulfill obligations that I have missed." Man, that sucks. We were just talking about Kylie last week. We were just hoping for the best. And as a wrestling fan, it's awful. As a human being, you just want to see her be well and be happy and get through whatever's going on in her life.
Yeah, it's all a huge bummer. The Patreon, it's Patreon she uses. Yeah, it's kind of a, it's frustrating and disappointing as well because, like, you know, she's going through some stuff, but also, like, you know, I don't know how it works or what she has structured in that, but like she's in no position right now to be talking about like refunding people their money and things like that. So I don't know, just be patient.
Yeah,
that's all you can do.
And you know, she's left the business before. She might come back, she might not. Once upon a time, Stone Cold Steve Austin was told, you know, there's life outside of wrestling after he had retired, and that lifted his spirits. And I'm hoping that there's someone out there who is telling Kylie there is life outside of wrestling and she will find it. Or if she comes back in some capacity, maybe she joins an announce team, maybe she becomes a trainer, something that will fulfill her and make her happy. That's the best you can ask for.
Yeah, like, yeah, best wishes, because I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's not something that's working for her, so she's probably better off just for her own health, just to do something different. There's a thousand things out there.
Yeah, there's also 1,000 things out there for Allison Kay, who has announced officially that she's a free agent. So back on, I guess it was yesterday. Man, the days just kind of go together, especially, you know, given the state of the world right now. Allison Kay tweeted, "As of today," that was Wednesday, "I am officially a free agent. Thank you to the NWA for the opportunities, which included one of my favorite matches of my career. I am open for indie bookings and appearances. Let's get weird." And weird it got, because then the announcement came from Tony Khan before Dynamite that at the buy-in for Full Gear, it's going to be Allison Kay versus Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship. The NWA Women's Championship on an AEW pay-per-view by a woman who used to be an Impact champion, who is now a free agent and is facing the NWA Women's Champion, who is formerly a WWE talent and trainer.
Yeah.
And somewhere there's Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, somewhere in the world is Thunder Rosa? I have no idea. She's still like active on social media, but I don't know what she's doing now.
More so than usual.
Yeah.
Rosa also has her own promotion out in, it's Mission Pro Wrestling. I think it's out in Texas, and it's all women, and it's really, really cool. If you get a chance, check it out. But yeah, I mean, just to give you a weird like mix of how everyone runs together, Allison Kay won the NWA Women's Championship. She dropped it to Thunder Rosa in a great match on the NWA pay-per-view back in 2019. Then she dropped it, and then Thunder Rosa dropped it to Serena Deeb. So again, all three women have some sort of lineage to the title, I guess you could say. Allison Kay, you know, most recently she appeared at Collective Weekend. She fought Killer Kelly at Bloodsport, and it was a knockdown drag-out match. I loved it. If you get a chance, go watch it. It wasn't long, but Allison Kay went in to say, quote, "I'm going to butterbean these hoes," and she got butterbeaned herself.
Very funny.
Go watch the match if you can.
Yeah, definitely. I actually don't even know much about Allison Kay. I know, like, I haven't really seen her wrestle, so Full Gear is going to be the first time I see it.
It's going to be great for you then. Go back and watch her as Sienna in Impact Wrestling. She was a former Knockouts champion and quite an effective one too. Times have changed, ownership has changed. So my question is, could Allison Kay maybe pop up back in Impact, especially after we just talked about Kylie Rae leaving?
Yeah, I don't know.
Otherwise, Allison Kay had a great showing in the Mae Young Classic 2018. Had a match with Mia Yim that basically led to Mia Yim getting hired by WWE.
Damn.
So there's a lot going on, but Allison Kay has a lot of upside, and whoever gets her next is going to be very, very happy.
Sweet. Can't wait. Looking forward to see what happens with her.
So, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm not a political person.
Oh.
But is it strange to anybody else that for the first time ever, we have to wait a day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days to find out who won the presidential race? Those are not my words.
I don't think so.
No.
Like, I mean, nothing's official on election night here. Like, it's all provisional while they actually finish counting thousands and thousands of things.
You know who said those words?
No. Is it going to break my heart?
It's a little bit, maybe someone who imbibed in a little too much of a bit of the bubbly.
God.
Yep. So that was a Chris Jericho tweet after the elections.
Oh, you stupid old man.
Jericho turns 50 next week. He'll be out of the demo, so the demo god will have to find a new demo to get part of. You know what? In that tweet, Jericho got dunked on by everyone.
Good.
Including Lance Storm, who pointed out that the same things were happening in 2000 in Florida, and he was cutting promos in WCW about it.
Wow. Well, I guess all of the bubbly has damaged his brain and his ability to recollect, but 1 hour.
As they said from the Attitude Era, too many chair shots to the head.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Worth noting, this is Chris Jericho, who's, quote, not a political person, despite having given over about $3,000 to the Trump campaign, had Donald Jr. on his show, had Andrew Yang on his show, continues to have other political minds on his show, and is not a political person, though.
He's just a moron.
That's one way to put it.
Okay. Anyway, Throwback says Jericho new demo, Blue Chew. Yeah, I think that's the target demo that he can really sell for these days.
Pretty much. That and Omaha Steaks.
Jericho.
How did Nebraska was a red state last I checked.
Oh, man.
Can we make you feel even worse?
No. Do we have to?
Oh, okay.
I know they're not that bright, but like, let me love some of them. Okay.
I know. Well, Florida ain't much better because NXT and COVID has a little bit more. First of all, Bronson Reed is a god.
There we go. Thank you. Why? What did Bronson Reed do that is noteworthy and good?
He's been tweeting for days now about COVID-19 and how if you do not adhere to social distancing and wearing a mask, it makes you a piece of garbage and a disrespectful person.
Good, because basically, yes.
And the fact
Sorry
that,
if you disagree.
He's effectively calling out his coaches in the Performance Center without calling them out by name.
Yeah. So did you? I saw tying in Jericho that Miro was on Talk as Jericho and basically said that the reason he was dismissed is because he was rallying the boys about his concern over their COVID handling.
That's what he said.
That's what Miro said.
I have a hard time believing that is the reason why he was released.
Same. I also thought maybe that seems like like WWE, though not super ethical at times, are very concerned with their bottom line, as most businesses are, and to ditch a talent for that seems out of character for them because like people have done much worse and they've tolerated it. So I find that a little bit odd.
There is a little thing called oh my god, I had it on the tip of my tongue and then I forgot. Oh my god, when you're released when you shouldn't be, when you're fired without cause. Anyway, I had the word, now I forget it. But the point is that leaves you liable to lawsuit and other litigation. And if Miro's saying that's the reason he got fired, sorry, bud, that's not the reason.
I mean, it's hard to prove that stuff, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Could there be heat on him for wanting to, adhere to certain things? Sure, why not? Heat is normal. Heat is relative. But he's also he wasn't an NXT performer. And that's where the gist of the problems have been. Pretty much. So here we go. According to Fightful Select, not much of a shocker here, and seems to be a weekly article at this point, but there was a lot of frustration about NXT's handling of COVID protocols heading into Halloween Havoc. Indy Hartwell was pulled from Halloween Havoc in a planned appearance, which we talked about last week, and several NXT that we spoke to were frustrated with how things have been affected for a story that many looked at in such a positive light. As mentioned recently, NXT's ability to get Hartwell over without even having her on screen was acclaimed by talent we spoke to. Frustration was compounded when classes then resumed and the same testing protocol was kept in place, not daily testing. You touch each other all day. That sounds
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean it's an incredibly physical sport. Like I am confident that they're like knowing how gyms are run, that their like cleaning protocols are very stringent. They should extend that to this. Because like when you work out in a gym with people all day, what's it called? There's like a rash you can get that's pretty harmful and like messes you up from mixing without that much sweat.
Ringworm?
Ringworm? I don't
Is it
that,
ringworm?
that too, probably. I know like basically gyms are like cesspools. So like you really have to clean them thoroughly in order to keep it functioning and safe for everyone. And I'm confident that the WWE does that to protect their talent because it's also protecting their investment because they're basically their capital. So, it's weird to me that they aren't footing the bill for those daily tests, especially in the US where like a lot of tests that are maybe not the most reliable have been approved for use. So like I can't imagine that the cost of them is too high, but
yeah. And meanwhile, Road Dogg is still trash.
yeah, well, that's no surprise. Throwback says they're shutting down gyms in his state, and like, yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to go to the gym.
There you go.
Sucks.
I walked by a gym today and saw that it was half open, but still very much not in use. There were people at the front desk. Put it like that.
They ain't supposed to be.
Well, if anyone wants to go check in on Orange Theory, I'd love to hear it.
Oh.
Not Orange Cassidy, but let's go back to AEW for a second, shall we?
All right, let's give it a shot.
Tony Khan announced that there are going to be some medical protocols ahead of Full Gear. Remember how last month at All Out, there was a lot of calls for implementation for CTE and for other head trauma and other injuries that have been happening in AEW? So Khan finally decided to get off and explain what's going on for Full Gear ahead of the Saturday. So I'll read a quote. This is from WrestleZone. He says, quote, "We've been recently doing everything we can to work on our protocols and make this as safe as possible work environment. I've added another independent neurologist to the staff." It was news to me. "We've added an independent doctor to all shows in addition to our staff medical team and we're adding extra support. I've added a two-way feature where the referees can talk back to us if there are injuries so that the referee, not all communication is going one way, and I've encouraged the referees to let us know what's going on." That, first of all, that should have been there already, but that's awesome. That's there, and I'm glad they're doing it. It's a long time coming.
Yeah, and they're living by the ideals they had set up at the start, that they would protect and take care of their wrestlers better than other promotions, and that's good to hear. If they have two neurologists on hand, that's incredibly important for people doing this type of work. Throwback. Matt Rash is what I was trying to say. Thank you, Throwback.
Matt Rash. I'm not the workout guy here. You are.
But yeah. Like, that's really good to hear and encouraging. Is this, I assume, kind of the blowback was from the Matt Hardy incident?
So it started with the Matt Hardy incident. It picked up with the Alex Reynolds incident in the ring on Dynamite. Like, we talked about that.
How soon I forget. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it happens in such close proximity, it's a little, it's a little something. Yeah, another person who's actually going to be in attendance is Chris Nowinski. Do you remember Chris Nowinski from WWE, from Tough Enough?
Nowinski, I remember very well.
There you go. So the Harvard graduate, if you will, he's going to be at Full Gear to meet with the staff, the performers, the executive, and give his thoughts about AEW's treatment of head trauma and what they can do better, which is excellent. And the last time Nowinski was in an AEW, not a ring, but at a show, was over a year ago, according to Tony Khan. And for those who don't know, Chris Nowinski is not only a former WWE superstar, but also the co-founder of the Sports Legacy Institute, which is now known as the Concussion Legacy Institute as of 2007. He's a leading expert in concussions and head trauma.
Yeah, it became his whole thing. Like I followed him because I was like peak WWE for me when he came in, and he exited kind of quickly. And so I kept up with him, and I've basically been reading everything that pops up about him since then. So like I'm familiar with the fact that he started this organization, and it's been like his whole thing. He became really passionate about it. He proved that like, he is a very smart man. Not everyone who goes to Harvard is very smart. Don't let them trick you into that. But like, he definitely was.
Ron Patel on the YouTube chat. Congratulations, you're working on YouTube tonight, Tim. Some strange dot is on your glasses when you shift and move.
Yeah, that would be the ring light in front of my face. But
I've also got one for those who don't know, and it's probably now catching the light. Or I guess I have to do that. But anyway, okay, let's keep going because I love this shit.
yeah.
So people who have moved on from their gigs and found some success, EC3 is one of those people. He's actually wrapped up with Impact for now.
Really?
Yeah, well, so he had his match at Bound for Glory with Moose that was hit or miss in terms of acceptance. I saw some of it was some people just don't really like cinematic matches, and this was, I guess, Impact's attempt to do something different.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it quite that. Like, yeah, I will say like the ring noise was the most distracting thing in that. Like their practice ring was loud as hell.
Yeah, when it's an empty ring underneath and there are no skirts or anything like that, it's just gonna echo and boom throughout a big open space. We know that audio production is not Impact's forte, or ours for the last 2 weeks, but here we are.
Whatever, I don't get paid, so
that's right. So while EC3 they did film the match before Bound for Glory, and this should come as no surprise. Living in a COVID world, you can't just hop from show to show who have some sort of COVID not sanctions, but safety protocols in place. So he's popped up in Ring of Honor, which means he has gone through the bubble, and the bubble process for ROH is 2 weeks. So he would have done everything he could in 1 or 2 shots with Impact, only to then go over, do his work with Ring of Honor. And again, Fightful Select, going back to them, so we're told that EC3 is finished up with Impact Wrestling for the time being after spending his last few months there. He's now working in Ring of Honor and will be working there with them through the end of the year. We are not sure if he has or had a contract with either company, but there have also been talks of him creating a new project separate of both companies. It's interesting.
Okay.
Not too long ago, you and I were talking about an interview with Scott D'Amore from Impact, an interview that he did with Inside the Ropes. And Scott D'Amore basically praised DC3 and said controlling his narrative is legitimately his life now. It's not just his gimmick. It's his gimmick, but it's also something that he wants to live by. So for him to be able to go and explore the wrestling world outside of WWE is a thing for him.
Okay.
It's
whatever.
tough.
I assume that's meaningful to him, which is all that matters, right? Because if that means something really to him, and he has like a vision board for it or whatever, like all the power to him.
Some
It
people just want
doesn't
to
mean
be
squat to me.
Some people just want to be journey wrestlers. They want to go everywhere around the world, say they've done it and made money and made a living off of it.
Yeah,
and they
totally
want their creativity completely open and free. I get it. It's different, especially with EC3. You and I talked about how Ring of Honor is not a character-driven company, and EC3 is a character-driven character.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, it'd be fun if I was physically present at, those shows. It's just like there's the difference. If I'm watching wrestling on TV, I want it to have the soap opera-y,
Mm-hmm.
Live, different vibe, different experience. I don't mind not knowing who all these people are, but like on TV, I need more to care about. So like, best of luck to them. I'm not really going to tune in for ROH too much, I don't think.
That's fair. A lot of people are still tuning in to see Paige live stream on Twitch.
Another thing I don't quite understand, but y'all
listen,
enjoy.
She has made one hell of a community for herself there. And she continues to get subs, and she continues to get every bit and every, super chat. If it was YouTube, she's getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so. And after she broke down last week on Twitch, essentially saying she gave her heart, her soul, her head, her neck to WWE, the way that she was being treated, she was not happy with that. And so it appears that something happened in the background. She's back on Twitch. The partnership that WWE is going to create with Twitch, that might affect Paige in the future, but for now, it looks like it's not. So it's good news for her. What it brings to the table for everyone else is another question. You and I talked about Q3 call and the earnings and the money and everything, and we saw that we actually got a bump in our viewership from it. So again, I said it on Throwback Show on Tuesday, going back to Nick Khan, who is the new president of WWE, the new CRO, Chief Revenue Officer. He's a former talent executive for CAA, which is one of the largest talent management organizations in the world. Mm-hmm. And he came over with an absolute plan to move everything in-house. He doesn't want the Barry Blooms of the world or the other agents like that trying to get wrestlers to have to sign contracts with WWE. He wants everything in-house, everything WWE related to be under WWE's umbrella.
Make them employees. That's all that matters. Like,
it's true.
None of this is a problem if you just make them employees.
Yep.
Like, at this point, they're not even saving that. There's no way that they're saving that much money.
No, and they're not saving money at this point. It's just it's the way the business has always been, so we're not going to change it. And it's garbage. It shouldn't be that way. They should be given more. I will say this. I know I mention WrestleNomics probably every week, and I'm going to say it again. Go and find WrestleNomics. There's actually an episode from not too long ago where they talk about what the cost would be for WWE to offer medical to their superstars. And the money is not that bad. They don't lose a ton. So I agree. I said it again. I do believe that Twitch and WWE's partnership will include showing Raw and SmackDown either live or on a very minimal delay if you have a sub in the next maybe 5 to 10 years. That's what I believe.
I would be surprised if they do. Like you see it now. Impact is like a constant live presence on Twitch. They just have like all of their archive content kind of playing in the background, and it's great. It's a good idea, I think, because there is revenue to be gained here.
Yeah. And if I'm working away and I need something to do, I can easily put on an Impact stream. I usually put on The Simpsons, just put on my headphones and I get to work. It's all just background noise. Same thing with like election coverage on CNN, background noise at this point, because it doesn't affect me. I'm a Canadian. It affects me differently than those who are living in the States. And Tim Traver brings up the point that the Impact Wrestling ring sounds like a WCW ring from the 90s. And I do agree with that.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah,
very loud, very booming. Speaking of Impact, so I don't know. We always put in my notes, at least, New Japan as a talking point, and neither of us really spend enough time talking about New Japan because there's
too much
lot of
stuff.
wrestling. There's so much wrestling. So here, instead, we're going to do this. Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, MLW, GCW, and other indie stars have been announced for the New Japan of America Super J Cup, and it's a one-night tournament. Can you dig that?
I can dig that, maybe.
So the Super J Cup is essentially an opportunity for the best of the best to come and win. I believe they win a shot at the Junior Heavyweight Championship, but that's also the best of the Super Juniors. So Super J Cup might just be a one-off thing and not really give you anything extra.
You get a cup.
It's a cup,
kind of like
cup. The New Japan Cup. New Japan Cup comes with the Heavyweight Championship opportunity as well. Anyway, so from Impact, we have Chris Bay, TJP. They are representing Impact. From MLW and the Indies, you have ACH. You have Blake Christian, who's representing GCW, and Leo Rush, which that's going to be excellent. From Ring of Honor, it's Ray Horace. Ring of Honor and New Japan still have their partnership. And from the New Japan LA Dojo, you have Clark Connors, who won the Lions Break tournament. If you're familiar with New Japan at all, the Young Lions are what they call their training superstars, or their training wrestlers. I got to get WWE out of my brain. And then El Fantasmo ELP, a Canadian boy from Vancouver. He is going to be in the Super J Cup. He was the winner of last year's event. So there you go. It's going to be good. Yeah. So it's a one night tournament. This year it's in the US. It's not to be confused with the Best of the Super Juniors, as I was just doing. And that's actually an event that's going to run in Japan from November 15th to December 11th, with 10 junior heavyweight competitors vying for a shot at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. It's held by Taiji Ishimori, who is also in the tournament. And if he wins, he picks the opponent. It's the same as the G1 rules, but on a light heavyweight basis, not a big one.
So it's a tournament. It's one night.
Yep.
How many matches does the victor have to wrestle?
You got 10 people. Wait, 10 people? No, more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
So 4 matches or 8 matches?
8 people, so I assume 4 matches.
4 matches. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. I'm just picturing like whoever has to do the finish spot there must just be half dead. But
a lot of these guys can go.
Yeah. Damn. The cardio, man. The cardio.
That's what it's all about. Speaking of cardio, did you watch Impact?
No, I didn't. I couldn't.
I was doing Throwback Show this past week. It was a great time. If you have a chance, go over to his YouTube channel and check it out. It was myself, Jeremy Lambert from Fightful, Jeff Hawkins, who is from Shake Them Ropes and also has done some work with Fightful. You had Wild Boy, aka DK. He was there, and Throwback, of course. Am I missing anyone? If I missed anyone, I'm so sorry. I know Anakin JMT. He made a couple run-ins and it was fun. Oh, Tad. Sorry, Tad. I'm just getting to know you, so I'm gonna get to know you better, Tad, down the line. As a result, I didn't watch Impact either. It was also all the election stuff.
Yeah,
and it was nuts. There was a ton of too much. It was a pretty simple Impact show, as far as I could tell. They're gonna find out who shot Johnny Bravo in weeks, and it'll probably take a few weeks.
That makes sense. You got to stretch. You got to milk that dead body.
That's right.
He didn't come back to life or anything.
Actually, yes, he's alive.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Alive.
So
he's
he just
hospital.
lived. He didn't die. Got it.
No, he's just in the hospital.
Gunshot straight to the heart is where I saw the blood coming from. But okay.
Wrestling's not about reality. We know this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Ron Patel asking, did you mute the Twitch stream for Impact? Normally, yes, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. I had 3 screens going, unfortunately, none of which were Impact. I had to pay attention on Throwback Show. But they did announce that Turning Point is going to be going on November 14th. It's going to be on Impact Plus app and on Fight TV if you're international. Running down the card real quick, and I know as we start talking about Impact again moving forward, these matches will make more sense, but we have for the Impact World title, Rich Swann is going to take on Sami Callihan. For the Knockouts title in a no disqualification match, Su Yung will take on Deonna Purrazzo. That's going to be good. For the Impact World Tag Team titles, you have the North taking on the Good Brothers. Again, that's going to happen. Brian Myers is going to take on Swoggle.
What? Oh, because he grabbed his wiener. Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot.
And then Moose is going to take on Willie Mack. That's going to be a hell of a match, those two.
I love Willie Mack. He's so fun.
So much fun.
Good time.
And the night before that is actually Talking Shop-A-Mania 2, Rise of the Torturer.
Ball for a ball.
That's
Can't
right.
Wait. That's the thing I'm most excited for in the coming weeks is that.
Could you imagine Talking Shop-A-Mania? The Good Brothers have like the best night ever, and then the next night they win the Impact Tag Team Championships.
That'd be pretty good. I feel like they're going to be very hungover.
I feel like Carl Anderson's wife might have to fish him out and Sharpie art on him. We're not going to talk about Carl Anderson and his wife.
Not touching that. They're all good. They're good now. It's good. Sort of.
Yes, they're great. Oh God.
Case closed. I think he said something like that.
Something like that.
The files are sealed, etc.
Yes, everything from now on will be redacted. I really hope those kids have a good therapist. You want to talk about hits and misses?
Yeah, let's get to it. We're halfway through the show. It's about time.
Hey, you know what? I didn't do a SmackDown preview, so tell me about what you loved about last week's SmackDown.
What did I love about last week's SmackDown? Jay and Roman, again, phenomenal. Week after week. This is, like I keep saying, this is a classic. This feud is going to be packaged into a whole beautiful network series in the future. This is history in the making. Feels really good. Love it.
Yep, I do agree. That whole Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso match, fantastic. The aftermath was even better than that. Nothing but good things. And could this lead to Daniel Bryan taking on Roman somewhere? Don't know. Could be fun. Who knows? But yeah, between that and then Cesaro Nakamura taking on Street Profits, I think it was a fun match. It was straightforward, easy match. But that one spot having Cesaro launch Montez Ford up and over, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, if you weren't going to bring it up, I was going to, because that is the perfect pairing. Montez Ford with the most incredible vertical leap in all of WWE, and Cesaro with the ability to jettison him just that extra step. So good. So good.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. And again, it's going to be interesting what happens with the Survivor Series tag team match, because you and I have been talking about it. You mentioned it first, that there's probably going to be a change, I think.
Yeah. 100%. I don't know why they didn't do it this week. Like, you want to switch over to, oh no, we got to do what we didn't like from SmackDown. Let's do that first. What did you not like from SmackDown? We're probably the same.
I don't know about that. I this is actually more in the preview thing. I didn't love Sasha and Bailey's promo. I don't love that we're gonna have a match with them tomorrow night, which we'll preview next. And the Lars Sullivan sit down didn't really do it for me.
But he was bullied. He was bullied.
We were all bullied, Tim. I was bullied.
But you weren't called a freak. The worst thing you can call a person. I definitely was. Like,
well, then continue.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
What was the line he had? It was something like, "I'll let it slide," or he had a really absurd line.
The one was like, "The laughing stopped, but the screaming commenced." And continued for several hours. I was like, what? Did you burn a school down? I would have heard about that. Like,
he's the kid from Jeremy that Pearl Jam was singing about.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, that's who that kid is.
Oh yeah. God. All right. Well, what did you not like?
I didn't like the Mysterio stuff. Continues. It never ends.
Tim.
Man, I don't care. Stop.
Why do you hate love?
Go be a dad, Seth.
What about Ray? Ray's just trying to be a dad, huh?
Yeah, he's not great at it. Although this probably sells with a large part of the demo, so whatever.
If country music, eyes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, people still feel they own their daughters, so whatever.
And also, it's a telenovela. Like, it's a hilarious, poorly planned out telenovela. It makes me laugh. It's fun, and we're going to talk about when we get to AEW, talking about like soap opera telenovela style promos and things like that. But
which is I don't mind it. It's just I just don't give a crap about Murphy right now. I feel bad because he seems like a talented guy, and this is the lamest arc that he's taken. So
yeah, no, I get it.
Right from day one. Like, I don't like the fact that Seth Rollins is supposed to be a cult leader, but has that one follower. Like, there was potential for that character and not used at all. Like, just, it's a tedious time filler every week. Don't like it. I want them to try a little bit harder. They come up with good ideas, but the execution sometimes.
The saying right now is make it make sense.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are after, and I get it. And I agree with it. Tim Travers saying the Lars interview totally sucked bad. I'm not behind Lars, period. So yeah, I give him more leeway than I do any of the other issues that came up during Speaking Out or any of those, because minus the idiocy of DMing people inappropriately on Instagram like a idiot and not, stuff like that, I'll let it slide for now.
It's that Cro-Magnon skull. He's just like a caveman. And yeah. I look, as much as we're not behind Lars, I also feel that Lars isn't behind Lars, and that's the saddest thing of all.
Man, he just shrunk Lars. Okay. All right, what about Raw? Let's talk about what we liked about Raw. And it's tough sometimes to think about it because that was a long show that did not feel like it went anywhere. So give me your best shots.
I mean, I love Hurt Business, New Day, promo before the match once again, second week in a row. Very, very good. I just don't really get why they didn't just switch titles there. Like, why do we have to do this? Like, oh, they beat the champs, now they're going to wrestle the champs. Like, switch titles. This is a great idea. Do it. But they got to drag it out because I guess this week was a pause week.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were confused. I mean, we laid it out on our weekly draw on PW Unlimited that it was not a tag team championship match. We also laid out that the women's tag team championship match was not for the tag team titles, but then it was. So that was strange.
Yeah. I completely forgot. I did a show where I said, oh, it's not for the tag titles, and then forgot, and it was like, oh, this is going to be, oh, wait, no, what? Oh, yeah, okay. Like, same thing with the women's match. I'm not surprised they didn't give them the titles, and I'm not annoyed by that one. But there was an opportunity for a title. Someone's got to lose a title on TV that doesn't feel cheap and dumb and stop with the 24/7. It's getting so it's been as long enough that I just don't believe it's going to happen anymore again. That this happens from time to time, and then they'll throw in a shocker. But it's time. Do a tag title switch.
Just to clarify, the match on Monday, the Raw men's tag team championships were not on the line. Many people thought that they were not. MVP made a comment that made it sound like they were, but they were not. The women's tag team championships were on the line, even though when we previewed them on PW Unlimited, we were told and read that they were not on the line.
Yeah.
That's where the confusion for us lies, and for the Raw tag team championships, that's where that confusion lies. It's very strange. That being said, the VIP lounge, yes, with MVP was hilarious. He was on fire. And given the comment about Kofi lasting 8 seconds, great. Loved it.
Yeah, they both dug into some old wounds there. Like it was good. It was good stuff. Like good promo, decent match, like pretty solid. It's just, yeah, it was the one moment that I really truly enjoyed on Raw. The rest kind of felt like a slog. Like Randy cut a good promo, but there's one thing I want to highlight here that is just it breaks the fourth wall for me really bad. He said the guys in the back and then corrected himself to say the locker room. Now, do you have any idea why that happens? Why something like that happens, where a correction that no normal human being would ever need to correct? Like why they would do that?
I don't know. It's strange. I didn't pick up on the guys in the back versus the guys in the locker room. I didn't catch that. Maybe because Raw is so friggin' long now.
Yeah. So, and this kind of threw off Randy, and he did like a couple of big things or weird things in his promo that is otherwise like really well done. And it's like they script them in WWE, right? Like, and they're really like, they care that they stay on script, and it's just weird to me.
It depends on the performer.
Yeah.
Some of them have been given just bullet points and they're trusted, and others are scripted. And also some are fine with just being scripted completely. Like Randy, for example, is probably okay with like word for word. Angle was like that. Kurt Angle was like, give me word for word and I'll memorize it.
It's so weird to me. Like, I think it's in order to do it right, like it should just be like they write storylines, bullet points, and then improv. Like it should be shot like Spinal Tap type thing, you know? Like it's because like when Randy makes a weird point of saying the locker room instead of the back, I was like, what? I don't care. Everyone knew what you meant. Like, anyway.
Sports like feel, Tim. Sports like feel. Sports centric is the word of the day when
Pointless.
we get to the AEW talk. The other thing I actually liked about Raw was actually that 3-way match between Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Sheamus. Good match. The stipulation made no sense because what was it? If Strowman wins, he's in. But meanwhile, what if Lee pinned Sheamus? Or what if, there was the thinking was a little too far. Didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was a little odd.
But the match itself was great.
Yeah, it was good.
And AJ afterwards, AJ Styles was just phenomenal.
I loved it.
No pun intended.
They get along?
His delivery, though, I love that his delivery was like it was over the top, but it was him saying it in such like a dirtbag way.
Yeah,
he's laughing while he said it.
It was good. Yeah. You know what? Another high point. Yeah, like, while we're talking about other high points, like Drew, good promo again, where he's just like, the Miz is fun to kick his ass. Like everyone loves kicking the Miz's ass. Like, it's good.
Yeah, there's some comedy in there, and I love it. It's once you got to pick out Raw. The problem is Raw is so bloody long that you sometimes do have to pick it apart.
Yeah,
and you got to find those little things. And our show since day one has always been, we don't want to applaud too much on the negatives. We want to go and have some fun and enjoy what we can. We're still going to be objective, and we're still going to, hate on stuff that's not good. But sometimes we find those little nuggets and you can actually appreciate it.
Did you watch the Thunderdome? So I'm tired of seeing Lana go through the table time number 7. But on time number 7, I was looking at the Thunderdome while it was happening. And like you could see in the eyes, like, some people are really resonating with like some high school bully feels with Lana. So like their plan is working really well. Like you see certain people and it's like you had a hard time in high school and like this is resonating with you. And like I'm feeling what they're doing with Lana. It's going in a good direction.
Once again, pro wrestling was never for the popular kids.
No.
And if the popular kid was watching it, they weren't going to tell you. Ever.
No, it's good. Smart.
And Lana is I'm sorry. I'm going to take it from the hat. She's going to the moon.
Straight to the moon.
Straight to the moon. She is going to WrestleMania. No, maybe not WrestleMania.
She's getting the push that Miro wanted.
Exactly. And for people who keep doing well, it's because Miro, upset the brass, then Lana's getting treated this way. No.
No, if anything, I would expect. Yeah.
She's on TV weekly. She is getting major roles weekly. She is on a pay-per-view team where she is probably going to be on the winning side, if not the sole survivor.
Like she's really, for me, she's really over now. Like I love her theme song. She's got a badass look. Like it's really working for me now. Like
I still hate her theme.
What? It's so fun. It's got it's got that sassy horn. Like
that 80s that 80s synth horn. The syncopated rhythm. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I love it. No, it's great. You're wrong.
Oh God. What did you not like about Raw?
About Raw, just the retribution thing mainly was my main sticking point, honestly. What did Ricochet do? Am I forgetting something?
What do you? Oh, like that he's being treated this way?
Yeah, to Mustafa, he's like, "No sins will be forgotten until they're paid in pain." Like, what did he do?
That's true. He was
just a good
friend. I mean, listen, Tucker. It made sense with Tucker because the whole idea was you turned on your friend. Screw you. You will,
yeah,
you will not be absolved for your sins. And Alex Thomas in the chat saying Tucker's big turn was pointless. I think there's more meat on the bone for that, and we're going to get to that in a few minutes.
I mean, okay, so I think I saw somewhere that like there's a rumor going around that Vince is done with Otis and Tucker because he's like a child with action figures, and once they're old, on to the next thing. And like seeing Tucker come out in like his dumpiest sweatpants because he can't use the heavy machinery gear and get squashed by Ricochet, I was like, oh.
And
I don't think they do. Yeah, I don't think they do have any plans for him. Like, I think he's just done.
Said it before, I'll say it again. Keep cutting his hair, get it shorter, do the Bradshaw thing, lean out. And not that Bradshaw was lean. I got some flack for this on Twitter for saying lean out, whatever. He wasn't lean, but he was imposing. He was big. Just get the size that you need. And be that heel. Lean into it. It was a bad idea to wear your old Tucker Knight garb on TV. You should have just gone with the singlet, something that was heavy machinery.
Something
would have been fun.
Like, yeah, it looked trashy. He just looked like some guy they pulled in from the Floridian streets and we're like, go for it.
Yeah, was not a fan of that. No. Randy opening, Randy closing. I didn't like Randy's promo this week. It was long. It was plotting. It was just.
It was. I mean, he got to the I'm a legend, which is like, yeah, you totally are. That's undeniable now. Oh my God. I forgot this one thing. The writing with this, like the hunter become the prey thing. They said it like 8 million times and I'm so sick of it. It was like, I'm not 5. Stop writing like you're talking exclusively to 5th graders. This is not clever. It's not good writing. Like, it's so bad. Stop saying the same thing over and over again. And all of the announcers are saying the same thing that he ends up saying before he says it. Like, you need to think, please. Like, and I know they've had good writers and they all quit and it drives me nuts.
Well, that's just the way it goes. Do. Okay.
I
will say this, the hunter and prey thing, I said it last week after Hell in a Cell went off the air. You can't evoke the name Triple H and Titles 1 without his ears perking up.
Is that it? Are they playing this 4D chess where they're saying, Hunter, 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 come fight Randy Orton and be all old and slow?
If they bring it up again, they will absolutely do it. They will. If they bring up Triple H and the 14 title reigns, they will do it. Absolutely.
I feel like the target on his back thing, like they are building this up to introduce another person, and it's gonna be Triple H.
I mean, we don't know where Edge is on his recovery timetable,
True.
but
True.
That's a big one.
It could just be another person, but yeah, if Triple H comes back, both of his quads are going to explode, and it's going to be a whole time.
Oh God. And I got Randy closing the night. I sat there on Twitter during the match, and I was just like, just fast forward to the part where Randy comes in, gives an RKO after the 3 count, clears out the ring, and then the Fiend shows up. almost there. Fiend did the laugh track, and then
he just made him uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. He just looked around, just like, where is he? Where? Okay, we clear?
Okay.
It's 11 o'clock Eastern. Okay, let's go. And that was that.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's. What do you want to do? You want to AEW or do you want to NXT?
Let's do NXT.
What did you not like about NXT?
Overall, it was slower, like disappointing because they're usually pretty top notch. They don't think much of Ever Rise, is what I'm getting.
They're big on 205 Live, in fairness.
Okay, so they don't think much of Ever Rise.
Damn it.
You're not going to get that over me. That show's for nobodies.
I watched it the other week. 2 matches in 25 minutes. I can do that. I was confused when it went off the air. I was like,
that's what happened to me the one time I watched it in the Thunderdome. I was like, wait, that's it? What is this?
That was much easier than anything else. Shout out to NXT UK.
Oh man. What about you? What didn't you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that. I don't like them being a bridge to Pat McAfee and the Kings of NXT. I loved that Pat McAfee segment. We'll get to what we liked about NXT, but Drake and Dane is fun. It's a great tag team, and it deserves a little more. Everrise as a team are going to be great comedy acts. They still are, and it was fine. It was just not my favorite thing to use them as a bridge. Then, of course, the main event. The main event was basically a 9:30 with Dream and Ciampa. Or sorry, before Dream and Ciampa.
Yeah, it was lengthy. It was like it's a work rate match. Like it's not bad or anything. It's just it's long. And like I love Ciampa, but I don't know.
Done with Dream. Done. Over. Done. Yeah. No more. And I don't care. And that's that. I just don't need it. The Xia Li stuff. Alex Thomas asked about Xia Li. I didn't love Regal coming over to her.
Where is this going? Do you know where this is going? I don't like it.
No. Well, it's gonna be. It'll turn into an amateur kickboxing match because she didn't have the one that she was supposed to have.
Yeah, I don't like these mystery letters. I'm concerned where they're going with it. That's my concern.
I just need someone who speaks Mandarin or Chinese or I'm going to sound ignorant. Whatever language those letters are written in, I need someone who reads them and can like say, "Oh, this is what they actually say," and find out that it's like, "Do your laundry, please," or something ridiculous like, "Take out the trash when you get home."
Yeah. Someone's got to have done that analysis. We should look for that at some point.
It would have been on Reddit by now.
Exactly.
It's like when people hear Asuka yelling in Japanese and then they translate it, but then they stopped.
I've always wondered. All right, what did you like from NXT?
Yeah, so those were my misses. Not the things I loved. What did I like about NXT? Pat McAfee. Come on.
Pat McAfee.
The Kings of NXT. The camera spot where he takes the camera and then you see him like do the panning up and down and the shaky cam. Come on, the man knows what he's doing. He was on his show earlier today. The clip is on Twitter. He basically said like, I'm back and I'm gonna entertain the hell out of NXT and I'm the guy and I'm here to bring eyes to NXT. He basically said, I'm here to beat AEW without saying I'm here to beat AEW.
I mean, he's having the time of his life. You can tell. Like,
hell yeah.
It's so good. And like my favorite bit was Pete Dunne kicking the door and then him being like, "Oh, okay. We got to get out of here. Like what you did kind of, but like a little aggressive. We'll talk later." And then again, so good. So good.
It was Anchorman. Like, it was the segment with, Brick killed a guy. That escalated quickly. Rick, you might want to move out of state for a few weeks so the heat dies down. It was that. It was that segment.
Yeah, totally. It was good.
It was good. And I like that they're tying it together. They're trying to make the points stick. Having Pete Dunne say, Roderick Strong, you turned on me 2 years ago on War Games. You deserve this, blah, blah, blah. And then Birch and Lorcan are just like, we were overshadowed by you guys, so we're going to take the money and take the championships. It was perfect. And Pat McAfee being Pat McAfee. Come on.
Yeah, come on. It's really good. Really good.
See you in the cage. I like that Undisputed Era were not on TV this week to fight back. Let the heels get their heat. Let them sell the fact that they were taken out a couple of weeks ago. Kyle O'Reilly taken out last week. Adam Cole still, dealing with the Ridge Holland thing after NXT TakeOver 31. It works. I like it. I also like Cameron Grimes' promo.
Yeah, so scared. He's shook, as he rightly should be. Any one of you would be shook. Zombies.
But I'll go back to what I didn't like. I did not like Beth Phoenix calling the zombie referee from last week. Did not like that. Don't need to call it back. It should have just been this happened. It was a fever dream. We should not even remember that there was a zombie referee and that it was Daryl Sharma, the referee. Like, it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It should have just been like,
I agree.
Here comes another referee. It was a little weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But what I did like, the 2 women's matches, phenomenal.
Very good. Always.
Yep. Dakota Kai and Ember Moon had a banger. Wasn't what I expected in terms of the final moments of the match and how it played out. Ember Moon seeing her first loss in NXT, albeit with Raquel Gonzalez getting involved, and Shotzi and Toni Storm having their match.
Yeah.
That, I think it was criminal that it was on this week's show and not on a week where there was going to be more. But the Tank, man, poor Tank.
I'm glad to see that Tank gone.
It'll be back.
Did you catch the commentary? I think I told you about it.
You were telling me about it.
Where supposedly the Tank stands for freedom and is a nod to her cousin who's in the military. And I was like,
And did her cousin fight in Desert Storm and go by the name Road Dogg?
Yeah. Perhaps. Because I honestly don't see how a tank stands for freedom. I literally think of Tiananmen Square.
We are not going to talk election coverage anymore here. So let's instead just move along. Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Was there anything else from NXT that you liked?
No, it was a passable show, but it didn't live up to the high caliber they normally put on week after week. Still some good moments.
Agreed. Hey, by the way, if you're here and you like what you're watching and you like what you're seeing, you can subscribe to us, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you are. You can like this video, helps us get some views out, and tell your friends, man. Share the links on your socials. Tell them about us. We love interacting with wrestling fans all the time. If you're listening to us on audio platforms, amazing. Leave a 5-star review because it's fun. We're getting to the end of our show. We're going to talk about AEW, and then we're going to do a SmackDown preview. And Full Gear is going to be our preview predictions on PW Unlimited. That'll go up before Saturday. And what did you hate about AEW, Tim?
What didn't I like? I guess Pac is just not doing so well, man. It was a check-in on Pac, and he's off his rocker, as JR said about some other people on yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. That promo didn't do anything for me. I saw 13 Pacs, and I just don't care. He's lonely.
Poor guy. Someone send him some Postmates or something.
Why does he live alone in that big house?
He's lonely.
Oh,
I'm sure he has a dog. Just the dog couldn't be on screen with him.
Poor Pac.
I was expecting a beard shave and the whole nine. We talked about it last week.
We expected a very friendly, endearing Pac.
Yeah, rom-com Pac.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Didn't get it. I agree with you. The Pac promo didn't do it for me unless it means something for Full Gear. If he shows up on Saturday and say costs Eddie Kingston the match because he took over Death Triangle without actually meaning to take over Death Triangle, that's a thing.
I don't want that to happen.
If he doesn't show up on Saturday, we just kind of reminded people that Pac exists.
It was so short too. It was like, hey, I'm still here. I'm just all alone. It's cold here in England.
Maybe he'll break out in a song and dance next. Do Mr. Lonely.
And I'll love that even more than I love that segment. Oh my God.
Nyla Rose and Velvet, Red Velvet didn't do it for me.
Yeah, it's good to see Nyla back, but like, why is Red Velvet just around to get her ass whooped? Dude, like, I don't know who this person is, and that they just keep serving her up.
They announced the match on Tuesday, and I immediately tweeted out, see you at 9:30 Eastern after the Cody match, or whatever the big segment would have been. I said after the Cody match.
It was a little later this week.
No, it was at 9:30 on the dot. And
God.
I said it would be a 3-minute squash. It was 1:45, and it was after the Eddie Kingston and Mox promo, which was fire. And then people changed the channel because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And then today on the media call, Chris and Ashley from Bell to Bells actually asked Cody about the the build up between Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida going into Full
And
Gear.
where it is.
And he basically, all Cody had to say was, yeah, we could have done this better. And instead he doubled down and started talking about how not every match needs to be settled with a big dramatic story, and not every match, we have a ring and we have microphones and we have this. And he was talking around the fact that they did nothing. And he gave a non-answer when all he had to do was own up to it and say, yeah, you know what? We probably could have done better, and we will do better next time. Easy,
and we got
easy.
Eddie, and we got Vicky being like kind of racist instead as the way of getting there. Okay.
Funny, cool, but not great.
Well, she got her ass kind of slapped a couple times, I guess. I don't know.
And
ass.
I didn't
mean that.
Wow. And another week of Meh Miro.
Yeah, it didn't quite do it. Like it was a decent match, but it was not what we needed to see to really justify the attention on him. Like it felt kind of slow and dull, and the ending looked botched. So,
yep, he's
bummer.
Got to give me more. Got to give me more to prove that he is as big as he's going to be.
Gives a good like back body drop.
There you go. What'd you like about AEW? Let's switch it, do it nice.
That Eddie Mox promo, man. It felt both like the right level of corny, but like also like they dug into it, right? Like it's that like we all know this is a little bit like corny, but like they really sell, like they dig into it, and it worked for me. Like it really did. Like I said, everything that they have done has been so bloody good. I think I saw Eddie give a promo on being the elite in like a promo class, and it was like do a promo on this donut. And even that was good. Like he's so good, and he brought like he just brings so much energy to the show. Like love it.
They do keep doing that. I'm being the elite with Eddie. They just keep saying, they give him something and say, cut a promo on this. And he does.
I gotta watch that more. I gotta watch that more just for that, man.
It's like Mondays at noon on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, I agree. Great. I had to watch twice that promo because the first time I couldn't get over how the telenovela guiding light kind of soap opera it was. I was telling you off the air. I love that Eddie's facing the camera and Mox is behind him and just being like, you made a promise to your mother. And I'm like,
your mother.
I sat at the kitchen table and I said grace with her. And I'm like, wait, Mox says grace? This is breaking everything inside of me.
Oh, man.
I'm sure the first thing when he got back was a message from Renee just being like, you say grace? Why don't we say grace? And Mox being like, great, I just screwed up. Now I gotta go say grace with my wife every night. Ugh.
That's funny.
But it was a great promo.
Mox can say grace because it doesn't have the word wolf in it.
That was good. That was deep. I like that.
Yeah.
So I quite enjoyed the promo. Going back and watching it a second time, it was like I was glued to the screen. I really enjoyed it. And they laid out on commentary. They knew what to do. And I think JR was smart enough to say, I was glued to the monitor myself. Like he didn't want to talk. He made it a point to say, I can't speak. I'm speechless. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, it was solid. Like really, really good segment.
And MJF post-match, just the beat up, the dive across Jericho.
I honestly didn't expect that even. Like, it came out of nowhere, and it's just like, I was like,
just took him out. Loved it.
I like having my expectations countered in wrestling, and MJF did that. And it's a typical wrestling thing to do. I just totally wasn't ready for it, and it was great.
Yeah. So it was good. It was a good show. Both shows were great, but overshadowed by the elections. And we don't talk ratings on the show, but they were both out of the top 50 for that because of the elections. They knew they didn't have to put together a huge show. AEW kind of hurt putting together a Full Gear go home and not having a lot to do. I don't have much to say about the Cody and Darby Allin stuff. We'll see. And again, we'll talk about it more when we preview Full Gear on PW Unlimited this weekend. Check your local listings. No, it'll go up. We'll promote it. We do at Tim and Joel.
Twitter.
The whole blog.
Follow us.
Twitter and everywhere. SmackDown this week. One match announced. Sasha Banks, women's champion, taking on Bayley in a rematch. The question is, will there be a winner?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad we got
screw that finish up, I'm sure.
I don't have high hopes. My honest to God only hope is that the match is short and they just not bait and switch, but do the match, do the DQ, and just move along. The story has so much more to tell.
Or
Bailey wins.
They take the story that I pitched, where Bailey wins, and then we take the long road, and then Sasha regains the title, and then her first title defense is at WrestleMania. Who gets excited about a title defense, right? Like at WrestleMania, but this one would actually be a big thing. It would be a new thing. I think that's a good angle, and they could get there, and it's a long road. So
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
it's better than Sasha winning the Rumble and going for the title, and doing the whole winning the title at Mania with all the fireworks. It could be interesting.
Yeah, but she's already won the title before. That only really works on me when it's someone's first time. Like,
oh, you must hate Randy Orton.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, good. Okay.
Kind of. I mean, I like him and I respect him. He's a very good wrestler. Loved Evolution and all that. And it's just, I don't know. I find some of his matches very dull.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anything? What else? I mean, they're gonna have to go forward with the Women's Survivor Series team. Again, bring it up. I think it'll be another triple threat match. They'll do that with Carmella, Zelina, Tamina. Whoever doesn't get pinned goes on to wrestle again later on, maybe next week. And then it's, what is that? Mella wins the first one. So it'll be, let's say, Tamina taking on Natalya. Natalya beats Tamina. Natalya's on the team. And then the Riot Squad joins. And that's how we go.
Yep.
That's how I see that SmackDown team playing out. But we'll find out. There's still a lot of time between now and Hell in a Cell. Or not Hell in a Cell. Yeah. It's a lot of time between now and Survivor Series when we discover the best of the best.
Man, they love saying that.
Every show's got a tagline, and ours is coming. So first, you got to follow us on. First, you got to follow us at Tim and Joel Pod, or go to timandjoelpod.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us everywhere. Tim, where can the kids find you?
Kids can find me at Tim Stone P, TIMBSTONEP. The P stands for pile driver.
Yeah,
how about you, Joel?
For this week. Doesn't stand for president?
No, it usually stands for POGS. You remember POGS?
Like PAWGS?
No, like POGS, the toy.
Oh, well, my mind's in the wrong place.
Okay,
and you can find me. You can find me at Joel Pearl on all forms of social media.
Damn, I just realized. Sorry, you can go ahead. Oh, now I'm sad.
Wonderful. At Joel Pearl on all forms of social media. You can leave us a tip. That's always fun. It allows me to subscribe to other wrestling websites other than just Fightful Select. I'll join PW Insider. I'll do anything you want. You just got to pay for it. Please, 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 because I'm poor. And that's great, man. Now it is the tagline time. Kids, internet, world, enjoy your wrestling. We'll see you next week.